Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This is No More Water Fire Next Time. I was a late transitioning over. I was having a little problem with my mic. You see, my subject tonight is about the Black Panther Party. They are specifically the Philadelphia chapter and their leader, who has been saying some very reckless things. Talking about taking on ICE like he's inviting them to come in. And black people, we don't speak that reckless. If we're going to do something, we don't talk about it. See, because we know that when these people come talking reckless like that, they're usually a plant. Remember the guy, what was his name? Cecil Washington, I believe, the one who set up Fred Hampton. He was an FBI informant. I can remember years ago, you remember Richard Onion Horton, the great radio host. He used to talk about how one time they were having a meeting. There was a strategy meeting about protest. There was this guy in there saying, "Oh, what we need is guns. We need to get some weapons. We're gonna fight the police. We need to get ready." And they looked at him like he was crazy and said, "We're not trying to do anything like that." And they later found out that he was an undercover cop, undercover policeman. Black people don't talk that reckless when we strategize. We don't go looking for a fight. If we're gonna defend ourselves, we do it. We don't talk about it. Of course, there's some armed black protesters at these black marches. But you notice, they don't bother anyone. You don't bother us, we don't bother you. We don't broadcast what we're going to do. So that's why no one's trusting this guy. And this guy, he doesn't even look black. He looks like he's Palestinian or something because the Palestinian news media is really hyping him up. And the Palestinians have been trying to come and take over a lot of black events. They tried to take over King Day. And we weren't going for that. Trying to have their own version of Martin Luther King Day. That's ours. You set up something of your own. Now you can participate with us, but you're not going to take it over. See, this guy, the other Black Panther Party leaders, his name Paul Birdsong. The other Black Panther Party leaders know nothing about him and say he's not that chapter is not sanctioned. And he's been talking very reckless. Matter of fact, I'm going to play a video of him. Let me play this video for
you. All power to the people. Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for At the Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn thing about the Black Panther Party. That's thing number one. Thing number two, the Black Panther Party created something called the Rainbow Coalition, which is a coalition of Hispanics, Asians, whites, and blacks from all over the world working together to fight oppression. Again, the Black Panthers stood with the Mexicans, stood with the...
You know what? He don't know a thing about the Black Panther Party. I'll tell you why. He's talking that old 1960s strategy. If you notice, black people, we don't even watch anymore. That stuff old. We don't use those strategies anymore. In the era of Fred Hampton, it wasn't known how much these other people hate us. It's now the Rainbow Coalition, the Jesse Jackson and all that started, that's old. That don't work. We found that out. We tried it. It don't work. So, they can go somewhere with that. We tried that Rainbow Coalition. Everyone can be in together. It doesn't work. We were trying to be united with some people who didn't want to be united with us. We know that now. And he said Fred Hampton was for people who were suffering all around the world. They better take care of their own business. We got our to take care of. But see, at that time, that was a different era. They didn't know how much these other people hate us. Sometimes they hate us more than the white people do, the people of color. And if you look at this guy, he doesn't even look like a black guy. Because you don't hear black people saying it. We only say they're not black when they're president or vice president. They're criminal on a mugshot or somebody like him. We don't say anything about they're not black. We'll claim them. We won't claim a president or vice president. But see, look, these we can't fall for that. Even the Palestinian newspapers hyping this guy. What they got to do with our business? Like they look like what's going on with them over there, with them bombs dropping on them. They need to be sticking to their business. They got enough going on their hands already. And see, I know about the black people in the Gaza Strip. There's 11,000 black people living in the Gaza Strip. They live in their own little area. It was called Al Habib, which meant the slaves. They persecuted black women when they walked down the street in Palestine. And you see how they act when they come over here all arrogant. They mocked black people. Even though they were being oppressed, they still found time to oppress black people all over the world. Now this guy gonna come here and tell us who we're gonna be with. He's not even sanctioned. Look, if that's what he wanted to do that. Even the people in his party, I saw a video of him where he was talking to the police, and one of his own people was saying, "You're too emotional." But why stand with him? See, his chapter is not even sanctioned. So we can't get off into that everyone spitting out starting their own chapter of the Black Panthers. That's not gonna work. Because when one of them do something, it's gonna fall on all of them. There's this post I saw. Let me show you this. Beware of this fake Panther group. And I think who was that? It said European Union daughter or granddaughter, someone is talking about suing them because they're taking the Black Panther's name. And I believe it's trademarked. They don't want him using it. So, we have to be careful. We just can't jump up and run after people because they say they're for our people. And in one video I saw him, I tried to download it, but I couldn't. He said, there's only one race, the human race. That sounds like that crap you hear them white women saying when they come on black people's posts and black people start getting in white folks' tail. Back at them, anytime black people start firing back. Oh, we're all one race, the human race. But they don't tell other white people that when they firing at us on social media. That's some white women say that. We're all one race, the human race. That don't even sound like something a black man would say. So we don't talk like that. We know there's different races. We don't tell the people don't. It's just like when they get pets. I'm not trying to compare people with pets, but just to make this point. You don't say there's only one kind of dog. We're all just dogs. Now I'm not calling humans dog now. That's the only person I can think of. But there are different races when you get done with it. There are different races of people who are humans. Get up off that crap about we're all one race. He even said on another video, I wanted to download it, but I couldn't. I'm going to show you another one of this guy. Listen to this.
All power to the people. Hey, listen, check this out. Me and the comrades out here in Northeast Philly, you know why we're here? Because we was told ICE was hopping on the people over here, over at the Brazilian bakery and over here in the neighborhoods. Now, yeah, we came out here and we see like them Sprinter vans parked and all these blacked out vehicles parked but it's like maybe they in their hotels getting some sleep or something, or maybe they knew that the Black Panther Party was coming. You know, like I said before, and like I say it again, and like Huey Newton said back in the day, the Black Panther Party is an internationalist group. So we stand with all oppressed people, no matter what your ethnic background is, no matter what your cultural background is. We stand with all oppressed people. So a war on the immigrants of the United States of America is a war on everybody in America. It ain't just a war on people who just came here, or even people who've been here for a while and couldn't get their green card for whatever reason. See, they couldn't get their green card for the last 20, 30 years, but you've been enjoying their food, though. You've been enjoying taking your car to them instead of taking it to the Midas or something, because it's going to be cheaper, though, right? But now they out here getting chased around and killed, and you won't do nothing about it. Hey, dig this, ICE ain't just coming after us. They just killed an unarmed black man in L.A. But you sitting up here acting like, oh, that's not our fight. Be real. All power to the people.
You heard that idiot? You take your car to them, you eat their food. So what? That's business. We take our car to white folks, we eat their food. So what? See, you can tell he's not a black man speaking for black people, talking all that. It's international. Like they're trying to get us in to help with the Palestinians. The hell with the Palestinians. Jews too. Nobody got time to be bothered with those people. We got our own stuff to deal with. But look, now you know a black man do not talk like that unless he's just a complete idiot. He has another agenda. He said they jumped out at Brazilians. So what? If they're not black Americans, they can jump out at whoever they want to. I don't care. Just leave black Americans alone, because we are not immigrants. And ICE is only supposed to deal with immigrants, not citizens. And see, he's trying to make black people get into this fight. That's what the government wants. Black people have delineated, reminding our own business. We're not getting off into other people's fight, and they want us to get off into it so they have a reason to come after us. So far, they haven't had a reason. We haven't given them a reason. And we don't need to give them a reason because of these other people who hate us just as much as they do. Black people try to unite with these different races of people for decades, ever since and because we're the reason they were able to come here. With the Civil Rights Bill, that's why they were able to come here. Before, Asians couldn't even immigrate here. Now those different people, you see they start coming after the Civil Rights Bill. And then they come over here when they talk against us, talking about we lazy and all that stuff. I'm not black, I'm this, I'm that. Talking about the people up in Minnesota, we drive nice cars. Black people drive nice cars. It's just that they're all condensed together. We're spread out. You came over here, you don't even now with all this going on. They don't even talk about they don't talk against Trump. They don't talk against MAGA. These immigrants mostly talking against black people. And we haven't done anything to you. We don't have control over that mess. That's between you and the ICE and the government. Oh, we can't, Black Lives Matter. Who wasn't out there? Out of millions of you, 10 of you show up for the first time in decades, and now you think you did something. Anyone can show up for a police brutality matter because that can happen to you. But when it came to us fighting for our rights, that was all us. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, the vote. I didn't see it. You know who did the Montgomery boys boycott? No one helped with that. That was black people. We were under Jim Crow, which is a semi-form of slavery for almost 100 years. What was the protesters out in the 40s, 50s? I'll tell you where you was at. You was lined up at them schools trying to stop little black kids from coming in your school. So don't give us that about we all one race and we all united. No, we're not. You want to unite now. And you see, nothing moves when it comes to stuff like this without black people. What protest you know get anywhere without black people? Black people actually stopped protesting after Ferguson. There wasn't that many black people protesting in Black Lives Matter. That's why it was getting a little violent because it was mostly white people and other people, and black people don't protest like that. Notice the ones who was unalived in the Black Lives Matter thing was by Kyle Rittenhouse. Those were two white men. When they pulled the gun on the people in St. Louis, you know what the man said? Well, it wasn't because of race, because those was white people who pulled it on. Because you know why? Black people had stopped protesting, but people hadn't even noticed. They have black people in one frame of mind. They hadn't even noticed. I told you before how I was. I won't get back to my subject, but I have to say this. I never protest because I told you I don't believe in peaceful protests. But I was filming I live streaming filming. I was filming one in St. Louis, but the Stockley unaliving, and I had the camera pointed at the audience. I mean, at the stage, it was all black people. I jumped around to get the audience. They said it was 600 people there. I couldn't find a black person. And it was like that a lot of those protests. Black people saw after Ferguson, they was out there 4 months, every night. They was staring down machine guns, armored personnel carriers. They even brought in the National Guard. Those black people weren't scared of anything. And when those looters came out there, the police wouldn't stop them. You know who stopped them? The black people left the protest line and stopped the looters themselves. Because protesters don't like all of that because they take away from their cars. There's never been a violent black protest that black people was calling the violence because the protesters didn't leave the line and go commit violence or loot. So how was it a violent protest? And some other people doing it. When it was violent with black people, it was the police who made it violent, like during the civil rights movement. Now these other people getting a taste of it. ICE is making it violent. Not to them. That's what happened to black people. With the dogs and the water hoses. I didn't see anybody else getting those dogs and water hoses. But when it was thick out there, that was all black people. After it got a little thin, you all start coming in on it. But see, this guy, we know his story, and he's been found out. His name is Paul Bergson. Bergson is a German name. He said in one video, some of them I couldn't download. He said, "I'm from this continent." And what black person you know talk like that? They'll say, "I'm from this country." He said, "I'm from this continent." That could be anywhere in the Americas. But the thing about it, he don't know. We battle tested for this. We've been through so much of this. We know when someone's pulling our leg. And he's been catching it. He's been asking people to send them their name and phone number and all the information. And if you silly enough to give it to him, that's on you. Yeah, we know the tricks. We know all the tricks. You notice in that last video I played, he was saying he mentioned the ICE unaliving Keith Porter. But you notice he never mentioned Keith Porter. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the black broadcasters are not mentioning him. I mean the major ones. They haven't even mentioned Keith Porter, but they keep talking about this white woman. There was no video on him. It don't have to be a video. He was a black man. Talk about him. He's still just as unalived as the woman who was on video. It was on New Year's Eve. He shot his gun up in the air. And under and off through the ice station just came outside and the witnesses said just shot him. But what I don't understand, and there was other black people out there shooting also, and they saw him unalive this black man. Why was he able to walk away? Now that should have been a Black Panther moment. He should have been able. See, we don't risk ourselves for these other people. Brazilian, you don't tell us who to support. If we want to be out there with those people, we be out there. Well, nobody have to tell us. We don't want to go. That's why we're not out there. Don't tell us what to do like we're children. When people came and helped us protest, we appreciate it. Because white people mostly took over Black Lives Matter. So how unorganized it was. But what happened was when people came to help us, they came on their own. We didn't beg anyone to come help. You came, we appreciate it. But we handle our own business. When it comes to protesting and getting our rights, we don't beg anyone to do nothing. We handle our own business. So that's why I can tell a plant when I see it. That old stuff Huey P. Newton did, that was fine back then. Because they didn't know a lot better about a lot of stuff like we do now. But now we know that Rainbow Coalition crap do not work. But you trying to align yourself with some people who don't want to be aligned with you. You know why those immigrants are here? To stunt us. You see, they don't mind Chinatown flourishing. Little Haiti, Little Seoul, Koreans, Little Tokyo, or the Arabs. They don't mind those people making money, but you know they brought them people here to hold us back. They said, look, they're doing it. Why couldn't you? You want to know why? I wish I had that video still up. That Asian woman, she told, and a lot of other immigrants are saying, when they come to open up a business in black in the to get a business loan, they're told you cannot open up in white areas because they don't want you making money off of them. You have to open in the black area. But she said at the same time, a black person cannot get a loan to open up business in their own area. They use immigrants to hold us back, to keep our money from changing hands. It goes from our hands to the immigrant hand to out of our community. That's only in many black areas like East St. Louis. That's only any black businesses here. You have more black businesses in Belleville, Beverly Heights. I'm talking the city around the area where I live. And see, the problem is, the reason they do that, they don't want a black area thriving. See, they'll no longer have to burn and loot and unalive people to stop our economic centers. They see to it now that the money just go right out of our hands and don't turn over. We got money. It's just not circulating in our community. And many of the black people who have businesses in black areas don't live there. So they're doing the same thing, taking the money out to where they live. So you see, they were brought here to keep us unstabilized. And it worked. But you know what they found out? They don't like them either. They just use them as a tool against black people. And you know what many white people finding out? They only have white privilege when they're serving white superiority. When they start siding with black people, you lose that white privilege and you treat it just like black people. Just like two guys that were unalived in the civil rights movement. Remember, Wilson, Goodman, and Cheney. I believe Goodman was the black guy. They were looking for the two white guys. They wouldn't think about that black guy. When they drugged the river, trying to see if they were in the river, they found 40 black bodies. No one ever tried to see what happened to them. That was unaccounted for. When Merlin Louiso, the white woman, was on, they unalived her. And she was taking a black guy to vote. They found out when you are not serving white supremacy, they don't care anything about you. They let white people have just a little bit more than black people to make them feel important and say, because, and so that they can, the rich people can keep using them like a $3 hoe. But see what happened even in I remember years ago, there was this white guy that come get his children and take them out the house. They were so malnourished. The whole family was malnourished. And they asked him, say, you could have went and got some food stamps. Why come you didn't go get food stamps? Well, you're sorry. I didn't want to seem like a Niagara. He rather let his family starve when it's mostly them who's getting it anyway. I've heard of jobs where they were to vote on a raise and how much, and they would vote the raise in. Then the white guys was found out the black guys was getting the raise. Oh, they're getting it too. They voted the raise down because to keep the black guys from getting it, but didn't realize they was voting their raise down also. Could be more money for their families. As long as there's less money for the black family, they don't care if there's less money for theirs. They hate us that much. See, this man is talking this back to the Black Panthers. This man talking all this reckless talk. Excuse me. See, black people know the diabolical people that we're dealing with. See, over there in Palestine, see, they're all blown up. Like they would know it too. They've destroyed the Gaza Strip. I hope those black people made it out there safe, made out safe. And you know those black Palestinians, after the way they were treated in Palestine, you know what they would come over and say? I'm not black, I'm Palestinian. Black people are treated horrible down in Mexico. They have certain areas where they live. And I lived around them in I would see them when I lived in Los Angeles. I lived there for a long time. Those black Mexicans would say, I'm not black, I'm Mexican. They wanted nothing to do with us. They wanted to deal with people of their ethnic group and nationality. The Jamaicans, they tell you quick. The Jamaicans, the Haitians, Dominicans, the Africans, all the Africans. You see the Somalians were saying, I'm not black, I'm Somali, I'm Muslim. They won't even say they're African. But yet, then you have the Arabs come here, make money off of us, don't contribute nothing back into the community. But I'd rather see them go. I wouldn't care if ICE come get them, and then black people can run those stores and learn it. But black folks, y'all gotta learn some community relations. Talk to people right. We don't want you getting in the stores and mistreating us too. And you got to live for it. The city needs to set a stipulation first. Try to get people who've lived here, not someone who's gonna take the money out, come here and make money. Because you got black people who come here and make money, then who live in other areas, come here and make money and take it away. Look at all the people who has the top jobs in the city. They come make out the teachers, policemen, firemen. They go and live in other cities. We even had a few mayors who didn't live here. But they take that money to where they live. They spend it there. See, just making the money and paying your city taxes is not enough. The money has to turn over. See, because you can get all these big, just like at the Casino Queen. Because the Casino Queen, it contributes to the city tax base, but the money doesn't turn over with the residents. See, that's why those big items like that really don't improve the city. It gives more money to the city through taxes and revenue, but it doesn't improve the life of the citizens. And that's what I've been trying to tell people that, you know, trying to build all this stuff, they look all nice and good with no one in the city, because those things don't improve the quality of life of the citizens. Because the Casino Queen, that land across from it, some black businesses should have been built there. Convenience store, whatever you're gonna build there, some black businesses should have been built there, so the money could turn over and to some of the citizens who live here. Now I'm not talking about you live here and then go spend all your money in Fairview Heights and Belleville. We need some people who are going to spend their money in East St. Louis. That's what we need, because we got money on our spend. We just our spending power alone will make us the 17th richest nation in the world. That's just spending power. That's not all we got. We put in all we got is even less. We'd be probably the 14th. That's not a broke people. That's not a lazy people. That's not a dumb people. The only dumb thing is we're not spending our money with our own. We're making everyone else rich. Oh, I know I'm a little off subject, but that came up. You see, the Black Panthers of that day, they was about community building. But if you notice, even though Fred Hampton was saying they were for all people who was in the Black Panther Party, mostly black people, those people don't want to unite with us. And we don't need a loudmouth like this Paul Bird song talking about going to war with ICE and all of that. When actually that's those loudmouths usually end up being plants. I know how black people talk. We don't talk like that. Like I said, we know how diabolical these people are that we're dealing with. You come at us, we'll defend ourselves, but we're not going to sit and talk about it. We don't sit and talk about that kind of stuff. That's why we know better. We know the plants when we see them. I'm gonna play this other video by this lady. I want you to listen to. This is a bit long one, but it's very good.
Okay, so listen to what the original Black Panther Party is stating, and then we're gonna get into it.
General Mike Payne, national leader of the original Black Panther Party here. We have received many emails from people asking what is our official stance on the ICE situation. I need you all to listen and understand what I'm telling you. We, the original Black Panther Party, in good conscience cannot risk life and limb of our people for groups of people who have not risked life and limb for us. Just because we have a common enemy, that does not equate to us having a common problem. If this was so, now listen to me. If we had a common problem and enemy, where were the immigrants as a whole when Breonna Taylor, Tyree Nichols, Trayvon Martin, Rollin Hill, Ahmaud Arbery, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, where were you at when our people are murdered in the streets?
And they needed to issue a statement because it was getting wild out here. Whatever the guy Bird song, who's an immigrant, he should just came out and said, I'm an immigrant and I want to support my community, and my community immigrants are being targeted. And if he would have said that, we probably would have kind of left him alone and been like, all right, well, just don't represent us. You know what I'm saying? And we probably would have left him alone. But he tried to cosplay as one of us, and he kept making it seem like ICE and the immigrant issue was not a part of his issue, and that we just all had to join in because of whatever. So I'm really glad that the original Black Panther Party is making statements, because I said, y'all, I told one lady, she said, well, they called me on the phone. I said, they can't call you. They have to make a statement. This is out of control. And she's like, well, they just said, just ignore it. I said, it's out of control. It's viral. Like, they have to make a statement. Like, if this guy isn't really speaking for all of the Black Panthers, then they have to say something. So I'm so glad that they did. And I'm glad that they're standing with ethnic and foundational Black Americans, Sulans, because we can't be fighting. We have our own issues. We can't sit here and run into the streets to try to fight for people who don't want to fight for us, who are basically just using us as, I'm trying to say it without getting banned. Like bags, like basically using us as human shields for their people. Like, that's disrespectful and disgusting. Like, they're mad because we don't want to be the human shields for because they're too cowardly to stand up for their own people. They want us to do it. So we are in the line of fire. Do you see how sick and sadistic that is? Do you see how evil that is? Like, we're too afraid to do it. None of us are going to do it. So why don't y'all go out there and get unalive for us? Go get unalive. How dare you not want to get unalive for us, even though we don't help you with nothing? If you're a coward and you can't even stand up for your own people, why would we stand up for you? And it's giving very much like now people are trying to pull out these old pictures of like the 1 or 2 Asians, the 3 Hispanics, and the 4 Caribbean people that were fighting back in the day for the Black Panther Party. Shout out to them, but that's not y'all. That's not y'all. The people who are protesting and marching are a very small, tiny 0.0000005% percentage of your group. It's giving very much this. So shout out to, that's what the energy is giving. It's giving, we've always been good to you people. How dare you not be human shields for us and stand in the line of fire while we're too afraid to stand up for our people, and we expect you to do it because of course you should do it because you guys are like Black. So why aren't you, this is what you're here for. You're here to serve us. You're here to protect us. This is your job. Like, we've always been good to you people. Yeah, no. We've always been good to you people. And all we've gotten back is racism, disrespect, anti-ethnic Black American, called criminals, called lazy, called violent. So before we were called violent, and now that you're in trouble, you want us to be violent. You see how this is working? Before, you used to just cause violence and explain and justify why the police were doing the certain things they were doing. And now that you're in trouble, and now that you're being destroyed, now you want us to be violent. Now you want us to commit crimes on behalf of you. We're not doing it. There's no reward for us. It's only disrespect. There's only disrespect. There's only unaliving. There's only disrespect. We get put in jail for people who don't even like us and care about us, and then want to be like, when we say, no, I think we're going to sit this one out. We don't want to be your personal shield. We've always been good to you people. Look at the pictures. Look at this picture of this one person, of these 5 people, these 10 people, of these 30, of these 50 people amongst thousands of you all. And even though there's millions of us, look at the 10 people in this picture that fought for y'all. Well, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. And if you're YT saying that, you should be doing that. You should be. You need to atone. Y'all a trip. We sitting there. I'm going to do exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be in my bed. I used to protest for everybody. I used to go out there and help everybody. I used to put myself out there. And what I am doing is I am saying, no. I'm going to find a bonnet. I'm going to watch a movie. And how about this? How about you get up out of your bed and go fight for your community and your people? How about you stop looking around because y'all are too afraid to do it and try to find us, and go find the courage in yourself and go fight for your people? Because I'm not saying that I agree with ICE. I'm not saying I agree with the administration. I really don't, because I'm really I believe in the Black Panther mantra, power to the people. However, I'm not going to put y'all no more. I never put you above my people, but I'm not putting you guys in the same priority or above my own ethnic group anymore. I got to focus on my own ethnic group. We got too much going on. We got our own issues, our own fight. And y'all keep talking about, well, it's going to be you next. It was never not us. What don't you understand? It was never not us. It was never not us. What are you talking about? We're not afraid like y'all because we've been dealing with it for centuries. We have a normal, healthy fear, but we have lived with a healthy fear of America since before we were born. Y'all not, what do you think you're saying? You hope it's us next. You sickos, you weirdos, you hope it's us next. You weirdos. Go take care of your own house. Stop trying knocking on our door, getting us to do something that you know that you and your people need to do. Go stand up. Stand up for yourselves. We're sitting down.
Man, she really laid it out there, didn't she? Couldn't have said it better myself. Man, she really put it out there. That's what this guy in the Black Panther Party is doing. Man, it's hot in here. He's speaking as though we're supposed to get out there for other people. He can, and the National Party said they're not. They're not thinking about him because he's not even recognized. He's not a Black American. I don't know where he's from. He says his name is Paul Birdsong. Now, I do know Birdsong is a German name. He said he's mixed. What is he? But he did say I did hear him say he was mixed. Because I just don't get on here and talk about people. I looked them up and researched them. Because I like to talk facts, not feelings. Yeah, but you see, we got to be careful because people want us to get off into all type of things that's not benefiting us. They never benefited us. We benefited everyone, but no one has never benefited us. Matter of fact, we have had more white allies than we have anyone. And see, the reason those people, excuse me a second, it's so hot in here. Um, See, the reason those people can't come over here, those people of color, and have such a disdain for black people here, because they have disdain for the black people in their country. Over in India, some of their skin can be darker than yours, but they still don't. They're still not African though. They're not African. They just have dark skin. They are people of color. We're black people. And before you hold up a black, they don't look black. That's stupid. You know what we're talking about? It's ideology. So ain't no need you coming with that kind of foolishness. That you don't hold no white cloth up to white people saying that. And see, that there was a time white people wasn't even called white people. They did that to distinguish race. Because all over the world, people weren't going as much off race. And the white man is tainted the whole world with this racial stuff. When they used to have, oh, there's always been slavery all around the world. You weren't the only slave. Who was talking about us? There's something everywhere in the world, but they got to do with you. They've been unaliving people since the world began. But does you think does that mean they should come unalive you and your people? Oh, there's been genocide all over the world. But tell the Jews that. No one tells the Jews that because they genocide with someone else. What they got to do with you when genocide for your people? But what they had slaves here and there. Well, let those people over there worry about it. We worrying about the slavery that was here. We were talking about our situation. And see, once the white man took slavery to another level, they used to enslave like a nation. They have wars, a nationality, ethnicity, or ethnic group, or certain tribe. But the white folks took it a step further. They went and got slaves according to race. Because when they did that with those ethnic groups and tribes and all, there may have been different races of people in those, or nationality. There may have been different races of people. But the white man did it just by race. They were the first person to do that. So when they start coming to you with all that, about what happened to somebody else, that's their problem. We're talking about what happened to us. But look, so be careful of these people, these fake people coming around. They're telling you about him. Be careful of these fake Black Panther Party because they don't see that freedom or death. Now I speak life. Yeah, I speak life. I'm I'm I don't even worry about nothing like that. I speak life. To me, it's gonna be freedom, and there's no alternative. See, you don't give them no alternative. When you say freedom or death, you're giving an alternative. Now, there's not gonna be no alternative. For me, it's gonna be freedom. Now, when you give people an alternative, you give them. When you speak of an alternative, you're giving the people a way out. Yeah, but you see, so you have to be careful people when they come talking that kind of talk because usually they are a plant. They're usually a plant by the FBI, or some type of plant. So they want black people out in the streets so bad. So that should give us every reason not to go when you see them warning us out there because they're not used to this. They're getting white people beaten up and white women unalived. They never seen anything like this. They're just going through what we always been through. They can't take it. They can't take it. See I had that picture of Keith Porter up. I usually like to show his picture and show his daughter. But hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. No, I can't find that. But look, because see, I even noticed the major black podcasters. They're not even mentioning Keith Porter's name, but they're talking about this white woman. See, and the one white woman, the crippled woman, said she was handicapped. They were telling her to move it along, move her car. She wouldn't move. A lot of people saying she couldn't go anywhere. They showed it when they were paying whoever was filming that. She had plenty of room. The street was clear ahead of her. See, you have to stop instigating. You have to stop being an instigator. Because these people are ruthless. You have to quit treating them like they're regular city police. You're going to say your stuff. See, that's what white people have been used to. With city police, they could stand and talk crap. Black people couldn't talk. But now, ICE is treating them like black people have always been treated. See, black people are the ones you saw sitting on the curb in handcuffs over a routine traffic stop, where they usually just come ask for your driver's license, and, registration and all. It's to put. See, let me tell you how this happened. Ever since 9/11, which happened in September 11, 2001, they sent some law enforcement over to Israel to learn enemy combatant procedures from the Israeli Mossad. They came back and taught it to a lot of police forces. And you notice since then how the policemen no longer just wear the blue shirt and the weapon and all. They start dressing like paramilitary people. Now they're dressing like soldiers. And they came back, they started treating the population, especially the black population, like enemy combatants. Come up to your car, snatch out your car, unaliving people. This is nothing new. It's just new to these other people. They didn't. So that's the reason they still talk crap to ICE like they do, because they know that because they're used to doing it to the police and getting away with it, but they're not getting away with it with ICE. It's not a good situation, but you got to use some brains. Black people know not to do that. I've seen a few black people run up, cursing ICE out and all that. Why, you know why it was pulling off. You already cut that out. Let them people do it. Don't get out there getting yourself unalived over those people. Keith Porter was just shot his weapon up in there on New Year's Eve, and the guy came out and just blasted him, and the black folks let him walk away. Well, we didn't see who did it. We just heard shots. So we see there is time for us to fight back. When that time comes, we don't do it. They're like they're talking about all these black men being found hung in the South. That's no coincidence. But you got to show them that. You have to be strategic with it. You don't loudmouth what you're gonna do. Don't they have necks? Don't y'all have ropes? That's all I say about that. Do with it your business. But look, we cannot. People told me to tone it down. Say, man, they're gonna come after you. That stuff you say. Well, that's just the way it is in life. Can't run scared about everything. But one thing about it, though, like what I'm saying about this guy, you don't get out there. See, black people have never done that. Get on the media challenging the police, challenging ICE. And then ICE is untrained. They're nothing but white supremacists. They're the KKK, Proud Boys, neo-Nazis. They're all of those groups have joined ICE. Even a few black ICE agents and Hispanic. Hispanics make up a large part of ICE. Can you believe that? Going after their own people. And you better be careful because after they get done going after their people, the other folks might start deporting the ICE agents, the Hispanic ICE agents. Because all they do is use the immigrants and the people of color. They use them when they commit a crime and go on the black crime stat. Did you know that? That's why you see black crime stats went up after the immigrants started coming in. A lot of them was included. And crime is not. Let me tell you about the crime stat for a second. Crime stats is been manipulated. If you look on the FBI site, you can look this up yourself. Crime is not measured by charges or actual crimes that happened. They're measured by arrest. So if a cop wanted to make his quota, he arrest you and say something about a robbery, knowing there was no robbery. Let you go in the morning, but it still went down as though a robbery was committed. You can get arrested for a crime, they let you go. Arrest someone else, let them go, but that's two of those crimes that's on the FBI stats. And if you look on there, it says black people are arrested more, but exonerated more. White people are arrested less, but the least like to be exonerated. You know why? When a black person, they pick a black person up, take them, arrest them, and then investigate. And if need be, let go, which they normally do. But that went down as a crime in the crime stats. White people, if you notice, have you ever seen a time when white people was misbehaving and black people said, boy, if they were black, they'd been arrested them by now. They don't do that with white people. They investigate. Then, if need be, arrest. That's why white people are less exonerated than black people. But if keep their stats low, and black people's stats higher. Black people are committing all these crimes, they say, and then the people of color being included in black crime stats. They don't put down Ethiopian. They don't put down he's a Haitian or Jamaican. They put down black. That's what they put down at the police station. So we're not the criminals that they say we are. They tilt. They have ways where they manipulate the stats in their favor because they know that when they do things on an equal level, they lose out. That's why they feel like equality is them being mistreated because they cannot participate on an even playing field because they will get wiped out. And they know they're not superior and they're not the supreme race. They do everything that you don't do everything you can to hold someone else back if you feel that you're superior to them. Matter of fact, you'll do things to help them, not hold them back. So back to my subject, look, that lady's on the video, she was right on time. I mean, she was really good with it. She told it like it is. We don't need to be helping in other people's struggles. Those days are over. I never did, though. I never will. Fight their own battles like we do. We never begged and cried for anyone to do anything for us. They may have done it, but we didn't ask them to. We appreciate it, but we didn't ask them to. Like I said, even the man put a weapon on the people. Said, it was white people. They was supposed to be in the Black Lives Matter. But on the video, I could see where the black people was coming back telling the white people, come on, don't pay them any attention. And a lot of those protests, black people are armed. As long as you don't try to do anything, and they knew those people weren't going to shoot. Black people can read that. Matter of fact, I was just a few minutes from capturing that on video myself because what happened was we were doing that Stockley that murders, and I think Lada Cruzan was mayor of St. Louis. And I was filming them on what's true? Was it that Grand? No, it's Kings Highway. They were getting ready to go through this, a gated community to get to the mayor's house to protest at the mayor's house. I broke off. I said, no, I don't do that. If you're going to protest the mayor, go to City Hall. Don't go to their private residence. If that's what you all want to do, you can do it, but I don't do that. Or you can come out and say, what did I just say? See, I'm like this. I'm a good grown man. When I tell people I'm going to do or not do something, don't try to convince me or nothing. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't like people coming into my, what you should have done. What I should have done is just what I did. When I just say I'm not going to do something, I don't need nobody want to try to talk me into anything. And that's why I told them. So who? I said, so you think you talking to? You don't tell me what to do. When I say I'm not going to do something, you leave it at that. Because when people tell me they don't want to do something, I leave it at that. They want to do it, I leave it at that. I don't have to agree with it. I do not try to tell other grown folks what to do. Nowadays, you can barely tell these kids what to do, let alone a grown person. But look, yeah, but she was right. That woman was exactly right. This guy he's been shown to be a fraud. He's nothing but a fraud. And they put him all over the internet, letting people know. See, nowadays, news can get out there quick. Don't come with all that old fake stuff, cause they'll put you out there quick nowadays. Yeah, you think you're doing something, they have you out there. Information travel quick now. But yeah, but we have to. So now you just can't watch the mainstream news because you're not gonna see much on there. The Trump regime is just about taking them over. They're afraid of him. And you know that's not Trump doing all this. He don't have the mental, cognitive skills to think of all what's going on. They're propping him up as an orange puppet, and Stephen Miller Vance is doing all of this, and Elon Musk. He's just a prop. All he can talk about is the ballroom and a bunch of who he don't like. He gossips. No matter what he have other world leaders. He have other um, leaders of other nations sitting there in the Oval Office with him, and he's gossiping about people. Biden, Obama, still talking like he's still on the campaign trail about the election. Got other world leaders sitting next to him talking all that crap. But see, but that's their problem. They brought this on themselves and let them cry about it. You saw those posts on social media. They talk about they're talking against black people more than they are Trump. Why come we don't do this or do that? Because we don't want to. That's why. If you notice, they are see one thing that these immigrants did, the Africans, the Haitians, Jamaicans, the Cubans, and the other Latinos, you know what they said? They said they voted for Trump because they thought we were immigrants and they were going to deport us. And now asking for our help. And then the next breath say, why come we're not being deported like they want us to be? See, what happened is many of those people, especially from Africa, didn't know that they didn't know about the slave trade. They thought we immigrated over here. They thought black Americans, all of us just immigrated over here. They don't even teach them about the people being taken away in slavery in Africa. That's just how much they care about us. Nothing. Because they never tried to come see about us. Take one of these white folks from over here. White folks come after their people. Those Africans left us all these years. And then you come over here want to talk about us. Where was you at? Why come then your ancestors didn't at least come and try to see about us and get us? I remember comedian Eddie Griffin, he said he didn't see, you never saw one N word off the Carolina coast in a canoe with a spear. Not one coming looking for us. But then when you do come over here, you got all these words against us. We don't care about you either. From now on, we like who like us. We hate who hate us. And we help who help us, and that's nobody. We get more help from other white people than we do people of color. Get on out of here. Maybe our crime stats will go down, and we can put some of our people in those businesses that they've been using you against us. Having you here has not been beneficial to foundational black Americans. You have been a hindrance for us. I know there's white immigrants here causing problems, and they're not getting them out of here. They're not going to. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's not going to be white people immigrating here. The white people in Europe don't like these white Americans. The white people here were kicked out of Europe. Their ancestors were the low lives that, like Trump saying about other people, the criminals, the hoodlums. That's who Europe sent here. They emptied out the prisons. Told them to get out of here. Because they came here, they wanted religious freedom. They were pilgrims. And you know what they did? They were calling people witches and warlocks. A warlock is a male witch. They would tie a block around them, throw them in the lake or river, and if they stayed on the bottom, they wasn't a witch. If they rose to the top, they were a witch or warlock. I doubt very many people came to the top, and they thought that was a good policy. They're unaliving these people. They didn't come up, so that's okay. But the people is gone. Those were the type of people you were dealing with. Those white people don't want to come here. That's what Trump And all of them don't understand. And after what's been going on now, no way they want to come. Matter of fact, they said brought some white South Africans over here saying they were being mistreated in South Africa. They're 8% of the population. No, they're 1/8 of the population. Yet they control 96% of the wealth, 75% of the farmland. But they're being so mistreated, trade places with the black people. You know, some white people always talking about they're being mistreated, but they don't want to trade places with anyone. How can you have everything and still think you're being mistreated? Like in this country, they run everything and still think they're the ones being mistreated. That's a sick race of people. But see, in South Africa, you notice they brought 59 of them over here. How many more have came? If they're being so mistreated and white people want to come here, well, come on. And that 59, they gave them incentives to come. No more has come. I think some few of them went back. White people in other parts of the world do not want to live in the United States. Immigrants of other of people of color in Africa were the ones coming here. All your tech people was from India, Nigeria, and China. You sent them away because white people don't form tech. White people don't invent stuff. When Trump named all those inventions, talking about, yeah, America built it all. We invented it all. Everything he named, and not some. Every invention he named was a black invention. But he didn't know that. I wish someone could have pointed it out to him. Black people have done a lot of the inventing in this nation. And I saw one black guy saying, we always talk about black people invented everything. They didn't invent all this stuff. They just helped. They did invent because the patent was in their name. And there's a lot of things black people built, invented. White black people used to couldn't get patents. So they had to let a white person get the patent, and the white people took it there like it was their own invention. See, when you get the patent, what it is, so I'm going to show you what this idiot was talking about, though. See, when you invent something, that doesn't necessarily mean you put it together yourself. It was your idea, your invention, you got it patented. Then a developer built it. But this idiot thinks that because if you invent it, that means you built it yourself. Your invention is your concept, your idea. That don't mean you went in your garage putting it together yourself. If you came up with an invention right now, it's your invention, you get patented, then it goes to a developer to put it together for you. But it's still your invention. So that's why people have to know what they're talking about. Stop talking this homeboy BS logic and actually learn some real facts. Because that's one thing I hate. I tell you, even on the internet, I do not like people coming with all that old, call itself hip hop ideology, talking all that hip hop language, trying to teach somebody something. I don't even want to hear it. You might be right. I don't want to hear it. If you can't come talking in a normal way, I don't want to hear it. No matter how prolific it may be. Come talk like you got some sense. Because that's what I have people do. Like when they come in my studio, and when I would have guests, and you don't talk hip hop language up in here. And this is the way I talk, but not up in here. If you can't do like I say, you gotta go out that door you came in. So that's what people have to do, take control of your area. I say I don't have cursing on my set. You got to curse, I tell you can fuss, but you can't cuss. We're not having it. And I don't have people tearing down other folks' religion on my set. If you're an atheist, you don't believe in religion, just say that. But you don't have to tear somebody else believe down so that they don't have to tear the atheist down. And I don't have anyone talking about speaking against these preachers, these black preachers, because they get spoken against too much and they do too much for people to be spoken against. What you do somewhere else, I can't control that. Up in my place, you don't do that. If every black preacher got paid when it shouldn't be a black preacher making under six figures. I'm talking about the ones who be out there helping people doing this. You all got it mixed up with all these mega churches you seen online. You see, I know preachers and stuff they do, feeding people and all. They don't have to do that. They do it because they want to do it. The church is not obligated to feed people and do all that. It's for the role of the church is to preach the gospel of Christ to people unto salvation and for the congregation of the saints. What after that, anything after that is doing because they want to, out of compassion, not because they have to. The if you knew the preachers that I know and the stuff they do, neither one of them should be making us under six figures. But a lot of them don't even take a salary. And y'all sit here and talk about them like a dog. And there's always the people who don't even go to church talking about the preachers. Because if you go to church and you talking that mess, you got a problem. I said that just to let you know because we have to about us taking control of our own spaces. I take control of my space. And you have to do the same with yours. Because I've had people on my shit say, well, I let you talk to who you think you're talking to. No, I let you talk. You don't let me talk. But look, I'm not saying like I'm a tyrant on there, but sometimes, because most of the people I deal with, we know how to do this. I'm telling you, sometimes you get those hip hop folks come on, think they're going to bring that hip hop street talk up to me. If you got to talk that talk with somebody else. I don't even want to hear it. I let people know, look, you talk right if you're going to talk to me, but don't talk to me at all. If you listen to this, getting back to my subject, this Black Panther guy, I get off subject sometimes because it's just me talking, and I don't have anyone else talking what we say on narrative. But look, like I said, be careful for these people who come up with all of that big let's go get them, we're gonna do this, all that old braggadocious talk about what they're gonna do to ICE and the police, because you're not gonna do nothing. Those who gonna do something don't say nothing. And see, and they're talking about ICE not being trained. I meant to make this point earlier. No, they're not. They're like rogue cops. But what you have to realize about when black people was being unalived, it was by trained policemen, not by any rogue group like ICE. These were trained policemen who unalived black people. So keep that in mind also. Well, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. I just wanted to talk about this old fake Black Panther Party leader. The Palestinians are backing him. Look on social media. So, you Palestinians, mind your own business. You got enough to worry about on your own. They're destroying you. And you out here over worried about us. Don't think you're going to come over and take over something. Matter of fact, we need all of you out of here. We can rebuild that community. And we can't do it with you here. With you immigrants here. You got to go. Sorry, but you got to go. You don't have to go back to your country, but you got to get the you know what up out of here. So we can start building. All they're gonna get you next, we've been the past, the present, and the next. We don't need to be known. We can't be the next. They're presently stripping all our rights away. I don't hear any of you people talking about that. Keith Porter. I don't hear any of you people talking about him. Even you black podcasters not talking. The major ones are not talking about Keith Porter. Everything that they're doing to black people right now, you people are not talking about it. And they're doing stuff that's just stripping all our rights away. We've been set back 100 years. It's just that the climate is not like it used to be with white people. Because see, why they're stripping our rights away, it's affecting them too. They're losing rights too. And they're not going to play that. They'll tear this country up. They're not docile like we are. They're not going to talk that tough like the fake Black Panther guy, Birdsong, Paul Peter Birdsong, one of them. The white folks would tear it up. They've done it before back in the 1800s when they wanted jobs. They're not the peaceful protesters like we are. That's why, like I told you, Black Lives Matter was getting a bit violent because they had taken it over. You didn't hear people getting unalived, Black Lives Matter, so they got in and started taking it over. But black people, please don't listen to these people. They're gonna have you use you for cannon fodder. You get out there for other people causes. They raided a Brazilian man shop. You know how black people are treated in Brazil? See, Brazil has the largest population of Africans outside of Africa. They're second only to Africa. The black people down there are treated horrible all around the world. To be honest with you, the Africans and black people who move to European cities, it may not be paradise and it's going to be, and there may be some racial problems there, but they're treated better in Europe than they are in these nations with people of color. The Africans is taking over France's population and they're getting scared. And that's good. All their riches and money is in, not all, but a lot of their wealth is in France. Why shouldn't they be? It took so much of their wealth. Why shouldn't some of their people be there? But the point I'm making is these people of color, they have always hated us. That's why it's so busy, it's so easy. That's why it's so easy for them to hate us here. Because they hated us in their nation. Chile, Argentina, black people are treated bad in every nation. Like I said, they're treated better in the European nations than they are here. Now I'm not saying they're being treated perfect and good, there's no problems. But they're treated worse in the nations of people of color than they are the European nations. China, black people, Japan, treated horrible there. Oh, don't put up these videos talking about they just happy to see us and that. And they see you as some kind of type of freak. And so don't get it twisted. Don't think these people love you. And don't get out there being no cannon fodder for these other races of people. Let them fight their own battles. And especially these immigrants, I'm not sad to see them go. You know why? Many of them have worked against us. And this guy with the Black Panthers, leave him alone. He's stationed in Pennsylvania. Even his own people say he's too emotional. Let him go back to Palestine or wherever he came from and leave us alone. I want to thank you for tuning in to No More Water Fire next time. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. I'm broadcasting on City of Champions Network. It's on YouTube and Facebook and pretty soon Roku. and also on Charter Cable on 984 soon. It was called WSL, as you can see on my caption at WSL 984. But it's also going to be called City of Champions 984 or COC 984 when I crank it back up. So thank you for tuning in. And as I said, my name is Larry Duncan Allen. This has been No More Water. Bye next time. And I'll see you next time, okay? All right, thanks for tuning in. I am missing with relaxing. Be sure to get your copy of I Am Me St. Louis, the magazine.